writed all this stuff because we separated for a couple of years. I went my way, he stayed his way. We made friends again rather recently. Then we started doing Kerry Cassidy's show for 9 months, and we had the biggest following. Kerry Cassidy didn't even have 1/10 the following that we had, and she never watched one of our videos. I said, well, why don't you watch what we're doing? And then they wanted to charge us $50 a show, and I said, forget it, we're out of here. And that's when I stopped doing a show with him. But we had 50 people in the chat room every night. We had 1,000 people come into the chat room to watch the video the next morning. So we had a following. But people wanted to hear it. But see, we always kept the show. He talked about the UFO stuff, and I talked about the spiritual side of it. Put it together. Because Wanaque is evil. It's not good. There's nothing good about Wanaque. The government's there now. Tesla built, they have these underground, I can't describe it, but they have these steel walls inside the mountain. I tried cutting these pipes and metals to get inside, and this giant steel wall, which was there. If you pull up the records, in 1900, they were supposedly trying to create iron, or what do you call it, dig iron and stuff out of the mountains and everything there. And they had these trains going in and out of there. But if you look at where the tunnel is, there's no possible way a train could have made its way around to get there to where this big steel door is in the mountain. And on the other side, there's this like metal fence. So we spent 3 years, about 4 days or 5 days a week, 4 or 5 hours at the Wanaque, taking pictures of all these things and seeing them and hearing them. So when people talk about the vortex and saying, well, we're going to open up a vortex, go through a vortex, realize if you can go through it, something else can come through it. The same as possession, part of what happens at the vortex. A person can get better. More people jumped off that bridge in a short period of time. And then one night we went out there was 2 deers impaled on the fence. They jumped off the bridge, and they must have went flying like 100 feet and then pushed on the fence because they were all squished in the fence. The weirdest things would happen there. But the people that we brought there changed. I mean, Sargel tried to say I changed after I went when we first separated. And then he realized what happened to me. But I became able to see
you
certain
sound
things.
Like something out of the thing with Sandra Bullock. I just saw it last night called The Bird Box on Netflix, and I wanted to get into helping you and I watch TV and we watch movies, but this, your reality sometimes weirder than fiction, right? So I've changed it from Ken Johnston, and although we were 15 minutes late, it'll have air. I don't know how to take it. I guess I can go take it off after we make this. But I put up Planet Anomalies, Weird Entities, Interdimensionals. Okay, Tommy Hawksblood, Theresa J Morris. Then after that, put Space Travel, Wormhole Travel, Portal, Wanaque, New Jersey. So I don't know if that'll help or not, but I've got to go back and edit the front of this where you came on because Ken didn't show up tonight. So I guess maybe next Friday, but we had discussed him doing Friday.
He was, well, it sounded like he was upset when he left last night.
I know.
He said his battery went out and everything.
Yeah, I think he was upset. He wrote me, and
one thing.
It's just that as co-host, it's hard to have two co-hosts. Do you remember with Janet?
I was going to say that.
Well, I'll just leave it at that.
It's hard to have two people
interview. There was three of us, and Janet wanted me to interview that guy. So Dan's very smart with the patents and what he's doing, and I appreciate that. So, folks, listen to last night. But, Tommy, I'm changing this now. I hope it goes through because there's a lot of things I can undo now. It's going to go up on YouTube. So you and I may be the only ones that hear this. I don't know, but it goes everywhere. So, but I've changed it from the Ken Johnston show tonight to Planet Anomalies, Weird Entities, Interdimensionals, Tommy Hawksblood. So this is going to be a Weird Friday tonight. We were going to do Weird Wednesdays. But I couldn't get you on this kind of stuff because you were only spirituality. But this is about your past, and I don't think it's bad because you had everybody has a past and something that they've done. And Wanaque, because it came up last night, I don't know why. It was because we were talking about different things, and I think Janet talked about something, but she got on the Montauk. But anyway, you know how we're just folks, we just get on these shows and start talking.
Oh, the name I wanted to bring up was Swardslow. Stuart Swardslow.
Stuart Swardslow. Yeah, she brought his name up last night. She invoked
he worked with
last
Peter Moon,
night.
And he was involved with the Montauk Project per se.
And that's not Peter. I don't know. Now, Stuart, I've interviewed him on here, but, it depends on what subject we're talking about. Now, Peter Moon, that's not his name, and he sent me his name and stuff, but he likes to use that name. And his publishing, Sky Publishing, I believe, Sky Books, something like that, right?
Well, he
hasn't been on a long time.
Because he worked with Preston Nichols greatly. He put out he's releasing a book right now, free online. I asked him to send me the link for it because Preston Nichols died like 2 months ago, and he did a eulogy on him and everything else. But Stuart Swardslow was speaking with Sergeant 18 years ago when we first started lecturing. When we first went out to mainstream, and I know he was doing a whole thing about Jesus as an alien, and I confronted him. I'm surprised Janet didn't get back to me, but I begged him to talk to him, and his wife keeps going to me, well, you want a reading? I said, no, I don't want a reading.
Well, each person has their own experiences and what they feel a passion to promote.
Well,
so everybody doesn't have to think alike. He does his show, you do
that's
yours.
Never gonna...
But I do mine, and Janet does hers, but we come together. But Stuart Swardslow, apparently you couldn't get through. She wants you to go through her to get to Stuart, right?
But she wanted me to do a reading. I said, no, I don't need a reading from him. I want to talk to him directly. Because he was friends with Sergeant 18. Brian liked him. He all these things. Now, if you bring in those names like Nasar Harriman, he claims he has the Ark of the Covenant. All these people, the stories are incredible. But none of them fit together,
Harriman.
really.
Yeah. Well, they have good YouTube.
He invented the...
I guess...
He got a Nobel Prize... Well, no, he got a Nobel Prize for the string theory.
Oh.
So he's not a has-been. He's smart. But what I was going to say, truth is levels, and it means the level you're able to perceive it or accept it. Everybody has a truth, but what level of the truth reality is it? If you say I see Batman in my backyard, that's your truth, but is it reality? Is it real? It's real to you.
What reality
does that mean it's real to the universe?
Or what part
exactly.
of the...
Now,
what part of you?
Well,
because you experienced a lot of things that maybe other people you took didn't.
Right. Joe is going to expose things.
Oh my gosh! I just took everything down. Hold on, Tommy. This is hi, Ken. You showed up.
Well,
Yay.
we had a dog. Our dog got hit by the car, and we had him down the vet.
Bless your heart.
The
rough
dog's
time,
been
baby.
Sorry to hear that.
About $2,500.
Man, that's
hips and everything.
How much? $2,500 in vet fees. Oh my gosh!
For the hip, metal plates, and all this stuff. The little German Shepherd. She's only 8 months old.
Oh no!
Oh wow, that's horrible.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Ken. It's been a rough day for you.
I wasn't paying any attention any time at all, just getting down to the vet and getting the thing taken care of, and we just now got back to the house and came in. And then my phone was being uncharged.
Oh, bless your heart. Yeah. Well, I changed it up, but that's okay because I'm sure Tommy doesn't mind relinquishing your time. But I'm not. We put you out there because you were going to do Friday nights, and that's wonderful that you're here. But at the same time, Tommy has done with me for years and years, and he was able to start on some stuff. But Tommy,
that's right.
I don't even know what it looks like out there now, but Tommy, stay. Ken, we're going to let you talk because you didn't get a lot of time last night. So I'm so sorry. Are you up for talking to people? Because I'll have to get Tommy to look at the computer to see what it looks like now because it's so complicated that once this show starts, it won't let me change it. And but we're here now, so I can edit out some of the. We didn't have about 15 minutes of airtime, but I'll work on that later, Ken. So this is recording. So let's start with I guess we were on last night, and this is Tommy Hawksblood. But Tommy, you haven't talked to Ken, have you? Tommy,
no, I didn't.
Okay, well then Ken, Johnston, Tommy Hawksblood, and then we'll get Ken going.
Hope you're having
greetings.
Fun as okay.
No, not. I'm not. I'm glad I'm not. When I have a little dog, and I had 2 dogs running after me yesterday, today. I mean, I have to defend it, but it's like my life now. I mean, and they become so attached and they're so loving. It's sad.
Yeah. And TJ has a lot of cats.
I have a dog. Janet has cats.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go ahead. Sometimes things get mixed up with.
Yeah, we have 14 miniature horses. We have 2 full-grown German shepherds that are my grandsons that lives with us, and they have a litter of 8 pups and 2 of the litter from last year. So that's too many dogs to start with. And we've got 2 cats. So other than that, we've got a lot of protection around out here on the farm.
Wow. Well, you live near Albuquerque, but in a smaller town out in the country. Is that it? You live out in the county? Is that what they say?
Yeah. Belen is about 34 miles south of Albuquerque, and then we live about 4 miles more out in the country area. But we're right on one of the major arterials, so we're connected with the rest of the world.
Well, you're so active for your age now, so I guess 70, what are you now, 70 or 75? I know you're very active. What's your age now, Ken?
I've been in existence for 77 years.
My goodness, and you're
42.
1942. So my mother was 32, so you were 10 years younger than my mother, and oh my God, but you're so active, and you're still out publishing and speaking, and I really wanted to give you time tonight. And Tommy heard us. He listened last night. Tommy is very big in our ACO association, and Tommy helped me establish the UFO Association way back. But he and Janet have really kept my show going. It was Tommy and Janet that started with me, Dr. Lesson, and Lynn Caston, who is an author. I think he's with the Bear Company. I forget which company he's with. But so tonight's sort of like the Authors Club for you, Ken. But what do you want to do? Because this is going to be on YouTube, and we won't be able to grab it. It'll be up there. But Tommy is. We were talking when you came on, Ken. I just pulled you up about Wanaque, New Jersey, and the Montauk and all of that. But I don't know if you would like to discuss anything or everything, or what would you like to talk about, Ken, tonight?
Well, I'm, as I've told before, I was so deeply involved with our government's space program, the NASA one, for as the moon is concerned, and thinking that we were out on the cutting edge of science and technology, and but yet aware that we're not the only species in the universe. It's been within the last, 3 or 4 years, I've been starting to pick up information here and there about the fact that there is a secret space program that's been going on, and I've been trying to get myself educated a little bit more. So actually, I enjoy listening to people who have been involved more with the secret space program. So I'm game to talk about that.
Well, let me just say this. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you to help blend this show together for us, Tommy, and how we blend Ken, because Ken's going to do Friday nights for me, and we're going to talk about a lot of space travel. But you were talking about where Tommy can help us is he was there and has done a lot of research, but he lived in New Jersey where they did Philadelphia experiment, Montauk chair, and he worked with Al Bielek, and he's done all this study his entire life, Ken. So I put up Planet Anomalies and World Entities and Interdimensionals. Now, he was just discussing a lot of the, I guess you'd say, creepier things, and I had just mentioned